blessed Sabbath to you all in the four corners of the world. I'd like to greet you all in a special day like this, Day of the Lord. May we all sit and relax in the comfort of our homes so that we can enjoy the study of today. I'd like to greet you all so that when we continue to study, we come up with a blessing from God, from the topic that we have today of who are God's people in the last days. Who exactly are they? Who are they? And what is it that God wants us to do in this dark world? Now, we are going to start with a quote in AH, which is Adventist Home. AH, page 477. AH, page 477, the third paragraph.
In his wisdom, the Lord concealed the place where he buried Moses.
Right. This is what God did. Moses, a mighty prophet, God knew how mighty he was. In his wisdom, he concealed the place where he buried Moses. He did conceal. Nobody can go to say this is the place. No one can go. God did it for a purpose. And
God buried him, and God resurrected him
that's what
and
happened.
took him to heaven.
When he buried him, he didn't allow his body on earth. He took his body to heaven for a purpose. Right?
This secrecy was to prevent idolatry.
He did it to protect you and me. Why? Because we have a tendency to idolize things. We idolize monuments. We idolize places where somebody was buried. We idolize a lot of things. Even now, we are idolizing a lot of things. We are going to study today to see what we do to idolize these things. We idolize, even in our lives, we idolize even the date I was born. We idolize it. Yeah. So God knew that we have a tendency of idolizing. Why? Why does he call it idolize? To fix our eyes on things instead of him. So this is what God was trying to prevent, right?
He, against whom they rebelled,
Right?
while he was in active service,
Right?
whom they provoked almost beyond human endurance, was almost worshipped as God after his separation from them by death.
You see? This is what happens when somebody is in service. When Moses was in service or when Christ was in service, how much he was hated. How much Christ was hated until the death. But God knows that people, after that person has died, they will idolize as if that is the person they loved the most. We knew their lives, how miserable the life of Christ was, how miserable the life of Moses was. But God knew that this person after his death will be idolized. In Shona they say, Wafoanaka. This is what happened. Or what is it in English? You are a good person after your death. This is what happens with human thinking. Now,
For the very same purpose, he has concealed the precise day of Christ's birth.
for the same purpose, God has concealed. He concealed. He will never divulge to anyone the actual date and time of Christ's birth. He will never. For the same purpose. He did it for Moses, to conceal where he was buried. He concealed even. He had to take Moses, bury Moses and take him as a dead body, resurrect him, and went to heaven. Why? Because he knew the tactics of the devil in human thinking will cause people to divert their attention from God to the grave, from God to the death of death. Right?
For the very same purpose, he has concealed the precise day of Christ's birth.
Right?
that the day should not receive the honor that should be given to Christ
He
as the Redeemer
concealed
of the
that.
world.
This is what Sister White says in Adventist Home. He has, for the same purpose, he knew what? He knew that even the house of God, the very house of God, will do it. And even if it was concealed, they are doing it. They are doing it. We have two Advent believers. We have an Advent believer who is waiting for the coming of Christ, who is still looking for that date of birth of Christ. We have. And we have Advent believers who have shunned away idolatry, who are waiting for the coming of Christ. So it depends which side you are. We know the side which is okay and which side which is not okay. When you are okay, you do not have anything to do with the death of Christ. But when you are an idolizer, you are busy looking for this death which God has concealed. I'm talking to the house of God. I'm not talking to worldlings. Let the worldlings alone. Let all other people who are not in the house of God alone. They should learn actually from us. They should learn from those who are waiting for the coming of Christ. Instead, it's us trying to encroach and compromise into their businesses. They should actually know what God wants from us. I'm talking, this is not the time to be talking to unbelievers. This is the time to be talking to those who say they believe. This is what I am here for today. I'm here for those who call themselves by the name of God. People who do not know God should learn from us. Let's all team up and show those who don't know the name of God, and show what it is like to worship God. Now let's read on. Yeah.
For the very same purpose,
Yeah.
he has concealed the precise day of Christ's birth, that the day should not receive the honor that should be given to Christ
Right.
as the Redeemer of the world.
Right.
One to be received, to be trusted, to be relied on, as he who could save to the utmost all who come unto him.
Right.
The soul's adoration should be given to Jesus as the Son of the infinite God.
So what are we doing? Those who know God should stand firm and show the world what God wants. This is what God did, concealed the debt. He concealed. Now let's go there in CS just below there. It's CSW 143.2, and
A reminder of God's care and love.
right,
Our birthday anniversaries
right.
and Christmas and Thanksgiving festivals are too often devoted to selfish gratification.
That's what we are up to. And you see how many are there? Everyone is talking about birthday. Spirit of Prophecy says, our birthday anniversaries and Christmas and Thanksgiving festivals are too often devoted to selfish gratification. It's all about being gratified. It's nothing to do with worshiping God. Now, read on. Let's hear. When the mind,
Sorry.
selfish gratification, and then when the mind should.
When a reminder of God's care and love, our birthday anniversaries and Christmas and Thanksgiving festivals are too often devoted to selfish gratification.
Right?
When the mind should be directed to the mercy and loving kindness of God.
Right?
God is displeased that his goodness, his constant care, his unceasing love are not brought to mind on these anniversary occasions.
So somebody celebrates it by drinking. That's self-gratification. Drinking beer, cooking good food, self-gratification. But nobody celebrates it by holding a Bible and giving praise to God that this is my birthday. This is what you have done to my life so far. Nobody thinks about God, but it's all about self-gratification. This is what we have found from the Spirit of Prophecy. Now let's hear, where does this thing start from? Where does this date of birth of Christ start from? Because people might think it should start from the day Christ was born. So that's why it should be Christmas. Christmas should actually start from the day Christ was born, but the scripture doesn't say so. Christmas has been celebrated. This 25 December has a beginning where it was started. This is what we have to study. Now, why did it begin? Who did that? What was the purpose? This is what we have to. Now, when we read, we will start from where. We want to identify who was the author, the founder of this 25 December. We want to start with that author. We will find it from the book of Genesis, where the first book of the Bible will tell us who the author of this book, of this date of birth of Christ, which he says is of Christ. 25 December, I want to find it. Is it really for the date of birth of Christ? So if it is the date of birth of Christ, why was it there from the beginning in Genesis? Why was it there? Then you'll find that it had nothing to do with Christ. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 10, verse 6. Want to find this man.
Verse
Right?
6.
Mhm.
And the sons of Ham,
Mhm.
Cush,
Mm.
and Mizraim,
Mhm.
and Phut,
Mm.
and Canaan.
Mhm. So, we remember this name Ham. When Noah went into the ark, he had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. But we want to study this other son who is called Ham. Leave Shem, leave Japheth. Let's go to Ham himself. Now, we want to see this. Who was the descendant from Ham? Now, we are being told that the next one after Ham was Cush. Right? We know Cush. Now, what happened? Who was Cush? Go to verse 8.
Verse 8.
So, after Ham, the son of Noah, we see Cush. So, who came after Cush? So we are going with the descendants of Ham. Next we find Cush. So let's hear from the Bible who was the father of Cush. Who was the son of Cush? So we know Cush comes from Ham. And then Cush is the father to somebody. This is the person we are looking for, right? Read from verse 8.
And Cush begat Nimrod.
Finish. This son called Nimrod came from Cush, and Cush came from Ham, from the Tower of Babel here. We remember after the flood, before the flood, the people were told, the rains are coming, build an ark. People did not believe that there was rain going to come. People never believed. But the rains did come. And God gave a warning of the rainbow. That after this warning of rainbow, it says, it shows you will never destroy the people with the flood again. But this man called Nimrod did not believe God. Nimrod encouraged people to build the Tower of Babel. So he is the master of Babel. He was the ruler of Babylon. That Nimrod. Now let's study more about why. Because people now started building the ark. Who was the leader of that? It was Nimrod. Who was Nimrod? The son of Cush. And who was Cush? The son of Ham, who came from Noah. You understand? You have to start from the beginning where this all came from, right?
And Cush begat Nimrod.
Right?
He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
You see? He was a big, mighty one. So he was the ruler of that Tower of Babel, which was confounded by God. So people were given multiple languages so that they dispersed. Under this leadership of Nimrod, they had gone against God to build a tower and made people believe that God's rain is still going to come even when there was rainbow. But he did not believe that the rains were not going to destroy people again. But he encouraged people to build this tower. In case the rain comes, we'll all fly into heaven. That was Nimrod. Now read on. Verse 9.
He was a mighty hunter
Right?
before the Lord.
Right?
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
You see how he was? He was a mighty person. Right?
And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Do you see what kingdom he was ruling? This man Nimrod became a ruler, a mighty hunter, a mighty ruler of Babylon. So when you hear people crying, Babylon is fallen, Babylon, and they say the church is now Babylon, this man has encroached into the church as well. This one, Nimrod, his system is coming in. And you will never, once you have got Nimrod's system, you will never hide from the name Babylon, because he was the ruler of Babylon. Now read on. Wherefore,
it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
right,
And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel,
right,
and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar.
that's where they were. Right? Verse 11.
Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh.
That's where, out of that land, that's where even God tried to discipline Nineveh. Nineveh is coming from this man. You know, ever since the flood, God has been contended hard by this team of Nimrod team. It's a gangster. This gangster. And when they die, they hand over all their systems to the next one. This Nimrod. Ever since when God is talking about Babylon in the last days in Revelation 18, he's talking about a system which started from Nimrod. Now you have to understand, when God sent Elijah the Tishbite, it means that time when Ahab was ruling Israel, Nimrod had also encroached into the system of God. Now, when he's talking about Revelation 18, come out of Babylon in this day, it means Nimrod has now contaminated us as well. But I want to see, what is it that Nimrod did? What is it? And what is it that God is talking about when he's talking about Revelation 13? Is that the whole world will wander after the beast. Who did the beast take from? From Nimrod. Nimrod has ever been fighting God throughout, from the time Ham came from Noah. And until today, and let me tell you one thing, until the coming of Christ, we will have people who are descending from Nimrod and those who are descending from God in the house of God. We are not talking about other people. We are talking about the house of God. It's our own church. That's where we are. Never. Judgment begins in the house of God. So that's where we are. We do not begin elsewhere. In the house of God. We have Nimrod descendants and descendants from God. We have those. And we saw in Revelation chapter 12 that the dragon took water and flooded the woman. And we saw the water at people's multitudes and tongues. These are Nimrodites, which were thrown into the woman, so that when we are teaching that this day is not the day of the Lord, these Nimrodites, they say, I'm just going to go only to preach about Christ. Why preach about Christ on the date which was devised by Nimrod? Now let me tell you one thing. We'll say it as it is from the Bible. If you hate the message, hate the Bible, you have, because it's the one that is talking about Nimrod. Nimrod coming as a gangster. You will see the gangster which was behind him to start all this. You understand? Let's say it as it is. Never mind. God alone should be glorified. Right? And here, let's hear. After he defeated many nations, that's Nimrod. He defeated many nations, conquered, and Nimrod also claimed to be the greatest, even greater than God himself. We have seen even in the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages beast claimed that homage to be greater even by the... We saw it in Daniel chapter... Let's go to Daniel chapter 10. And you see what the little one did. This little one was taking it from Nimrod to be greater than God. Let's, chapter 10 there, yeah? Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Therefore...
No, chapter 8 verse 10. It's the other way around, sorry.
Verse 10.
Right, verse 10.
And it waxed great.
This is the little one. Listen to what it does. This is the little one was taking all the power from Nimrod. What did he do?
And out of one of them came
Right.
forth a little horn,
Right,
which waxed exceeding great,
right,
toward the south,
Right.
toward the east,
Right.
and toward the pleasant land.
right. You see, this little one assumed power from Nimrod. Now here,
And it waxed great,
yeah,
even to the host of heaven.
yeah,
And it cast down some of the host of the stars to the ground,
right,
and stamped upon them.
yeah.
Yea, he magnified
Now,
himself.
who are these hosts? Who are the stars? We know the stars in the Bible are the leaders. So this one, when it was in the early Christian church, the stars were the disciples. Who did kill the disciples? It was this little horn, this power descending from Nimrod, killing the stars. Those, because it was changing times and laws. You understand? And then the stars, the leaders were waxed. And also the what? The host of heaven, which are the Christians. There was a lot of persecution in the Dark Ages because the Nimrodites followed the early Christian church to disseminate, to put. Now we talk about Constantine came and introduced other things and whatever. What was Constantine doing? He was taking over from Nimrod. You understand? Now, what happened next?
And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host of the stars to the ground,
Right?
and stamped upon them.
Right?
Yea,
Yeah.
he magnified himself, even to the prince of the host.
Right?
And by him,
So the prince of the host is Christ. And by him, by
the
the
daily
little one,
sacrifice was taken
even
away.
the daily, you see people saying we are taking bread and wine in the morning. But this is what he took away. That's the daily. He took away. And we as reformers, we take it back. That's why we take the communion at 3rd hour, the communion at 9th hour. Because Nimrod will never play around with us. Always. There is 2 forces in the earth. Don't tell me there are so many religions. No. There is a religion of Nimrod and the religion of God. These are the 2 that will. And the religion of Nimrod will get the 666. And the religion of God will stay. So it starts by us uttering these pagan feasts in our mouth. And we are inhaling the spirit which was in Nimrod. Do you understand? Now let's go back where we were reading. So we saw Nimrod. His wife was called Semiramis. Semiramis. Those who know history, they will know Semiramis was a naughty, naughty wife. So that starts a queen. I mean, the gang that I said, these are the gangsters. It starts with the wife Semiramis, because when Nimrod died, there was a queen around in those days. A queen was called Queen Ishtar. That's where we get the name Ishtar. It comes from Queen Ishtar. It's there in the Bible. So this queen had to tell people that Nimrod is now in the sun. That's where we find Nimrod after his death. But Nimrod left Semiramis pregnant. Now, so those days, you know, those who were with the Semiramis, the wife to Nimrod, they were asking, where did this pregnancy come from? Said, no. He devised a plan and said, it's coming from the Holy Spirit who is in the sun, which is Nimrod. It's the Holy Spirit pregnancy, which was on Semiramis. This is what they lied to the world about. And when that child was born on 25 December, that was the child's name was Tammuz. Now, let me tell you one thing. These gangsters, the gangsters are Nimrod, who they believed was in the sun. Until now, they think he is in the sun. This is what they think. Nimrod is in the sun. So their God is in the sun. So that's why you find there was introduction on that day, because they believed Nimrod was in the sun. There was introduction of sun worshipping. You see, people were worshipping the sun because that's where they thought Nimrod was, the god of the sun. And that god was called Baal. That's the name of the god. Was called Baal and stayed in the sun. So we have three prominent gangsters there. The first gang was Nimrod, who stays in the sun. And who, when they wanted to worship the sun, they were worshiping Nimrod in the sun. They worshipped on Sunday. That's why Sunday was called the Sun Day, to worship Nimrod in the sun. Now, the second gangster was Tammuz, who is also worshipped. But his date of worship was 25 December. Did you understand that? Now, the third gangster was the Queen Easter himself, who also is worshipped on Easter. Now, these are the three gangsters we are talking about from the beginning. And if there was time, we'll be reading all the verses. Now, there is time. It's a Sabbath. There is time. Let's study this and find out when this happened 2,000 years ago, before Christ was born. These dates were set up because, one, there was a day to worship Nimrod, a sun god, which is Baal, in the what? In the sun. That's why you saw Elijah being raised in the time of Elijah, of Ahab, because Ahab's wife was called Jezebel. And Jezebel encouraged Israel to worship Baal or to worship Nimrod. When we hear the Bible talking about Baal, they are talking about Nimrod. Do you understand? And Nimrod's son was born on 25 December. Now, if you want, let's go to a text in Ezekiel chapter 8. Because at that time in Ezekiel chapter 8, Tammuz was killed by a small thing. Do you understand? A small thing killed Tammuz. It was a pig. A pig killed Tammuz. Now, Tammuz had been worshipped before on 25 December because that's his date of birth. That's all that's why we take all these date of birth being magnified, so that we have also might tell, because we are assimilating that there's something in the date of birth, like it was with the date of birth of Tammuz. You understand? So now, on Ezekiel chapter 8, let's read from verse 14.
Verse 14. Mm-hmm. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Do you see, these are Israelites. So the spirit of Nimrod had encroached into the Israelites now. Now, the verse is saying, God now was worried all along from Ham, who came from Noah. God is just searching for those who are going to inherit the spirit of Nimrod. So now, he has seen that spirit has gone into the clan of Israel. So Ezekiel was told to write what is happening there, to show that Nimrod's spirit has also invaded the Israelites. Now listen.
Verse 15. Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man?
God was shocked. Nimrod's system has gone into Israel. Have you seen this? He's talking to Ezekiel, the prophet. Have you seen this?
O son of man,
right?
Turn thee yet again,
yeah,
and thou shalt see greater abominations than these.
So God calls these abominations. These are called worse abominations coming from Nimrod.
And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house.
Right.
And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men,
right,
with their backs toward the temple of the Lord.
Why were they 5 and 20? Is that 25? It shows it was the date of 25. You understand? Now, these 5 and 20 men, now, with their women there, what are they doing? Read.
With their backs toward the temple of the Lord.
Right.
And their faces toward the east.
Right.
And they worshipped the sun
towards
the east.
Who was in the sun? Nimrod. You understand? So God is saying, look at this abomination happening in Israel. And he's seeing 25 men. They have been calculated according to the days, which is 25 December. And what are they doing on that day? They are worshipping the sun. Who was in the sun? This other gangster, Nimrod, the father to Tammuz. Now listen to what happened.
Verse 17. And he said unto me,
right,
Hast thou seen this, O son of man?
Right.
Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here?
He's now shocked. This is the house of Judah. The house of God itself has also joined into this system here, Nimrod's system of abomination. They are worshipping the sun. And what?
For they have filled the land with violence,
Right.
and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose.
Now, instead, the branch is the name of God. They put it to their nose. He's prophesying what is happening right now. You talk to them about the branch, they sniff. But what do they accept? The Nimrod's date of birth. I mean, Tammuz's date of birth. To them, even that date of birth is nowhere in the Bible. They don't care. But put God's dates, which are in the Bible, they tell you they were nailed to the cross. And they were sniffing at the branch. Listen.
Therefore, verse
Therefore,
18, I will also deal in fury. Mine eye shall not spare.
Right?
Neither will I have pity.
Right.
And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet I will not hear them.
Right. So what were they weeping for? In verse 14, read it again.
Verse 14.
Eh-heh.
Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house,
Right?
which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Now, because he had died, I told you it's a pig which killed Tammuz. Now, it was on the 25th of December. He was killed. And the women now were weeping for the son of Nimrod, who was the sun god. They were worshipping the sun and also weeping for Tammuz. Did you hear that? It's the Bible which got the history. Now, let's hear. It says, from the time in history, it was Queen Ishtar who built a strong foundation of paganism. Now, we are talking about Queen Ishtar now. Why is Queen Ishtar involved? Now, we will find out why Queen Ishtar is involved. Let's go to the previous chapter, chapter 7. We want to find out about Queen Ishtar there on chapter 7.
Ezekiel chapter 7.
And go to verse, I think, 17, somewhere there. If it's not... How was Ishtar, Queen Ishtar worshipped? On chapter 7. It's 18. Not 17, but 18. Right? Now, go to that verse. Do you see? We were on chapter 8, on Ezekiel chapter 8. So now we are going on the previous one, where we want to find out about this Queen Ishtar. And how was Ishtar worshipped? Now, read.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 18. Sorry, it's Jeremiah.
Right, read the verse properly.
Jeremiah
So I was
7.
talking all along about this gangster. One, the gangster was Nimrod, and the other gangster is Semiramis, the wife, and the other gangster was Tammuz, the son to Nimrod. And now we are finding out about Ishtar. Right. Read.
It's Jeremiah.
How is Ishtar? It's Jeremiah.
7 verse 18.
Sorry, it's Jeremiah chapter 7.
The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire.
You see how Ishtar was worshipped. The children will gather wood.
And the fathers will kindle the fire.
The fathers will kindle the fire.
And the women knead the dough
Right?
to make cakes
Right.
to the Queen of Heaven.
So that's what the beginning of all these Easter eggs, they were being baked at that time. And when you see them, they cross. A cross to assimilate the cross of Christ. But their cross has got a hook at the bottom there. So this was started in Jeremiah chapter. Read about it.
The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire.
Right?
And the women knead the dough
Right?
to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto their gods, that they may provoke me to anger.
So God has seen another abomination being done again. The children kneading and also making these cakes so that they provoke God again.
To
and
anger.
this was done for the Queen Ishtar. You understand? And what?
Do they provoke me to anger?
He said, do they Provoke me to
saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord.
Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces?
It's also they are provoking themselves to the confusion, especially those who say, at one time they want to worship God, and the other time they want to worship Nimrod. They provoke God to nothing. Do you understand? This is the verse which is it's saying is they are provoking themselves to their own confusion. Yeah, and what?
Therefore, saith the Lord, Behold, mine anger and mine fury shall be poured upon them this place, upon man, and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn, and shall not be quenched.
Right. So that's why you have to go also on Jeremiah chapter 10, where he was now saying, let's read Jeremiah chapter 10. What does it say?
Verse 1. Hear ye the word of the Lord.
Right.
Speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right.
Thus says the Lord, Learn not the way of the heathen.
God is now advising Israel. Learn not the way of the heathen. He's addressing his people.
And be not dismayed.
Don't be dismayed.
At the signs of heaven.
Why the signs of heaven? If you see, you will see what happens there. The signs of heaven are the sun, the moon, the stars. Why are those being dismayed? I mean, used to dismay? Because why Nimrod was worshipped on Sunday, and that day was called Sunday. And the day they worshipped the moon was called Monday. And other planets, the stars, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that's where we took all the names of the day. The only day which God was worshipped was Sabbath, which is Saturday. So you will find that God is now confused about this man Nimrod, who has changed everything. And he went further, his spirit went further into the dark ages to change the times and laws and the calendar and everything. So very soon you'll be talking about Happy New Year, Happy New Year. But God's month, this month is the 10th month. But it's already talking that we should know exactly where things went wrong in the time of Nimrod. These gangsters, they have been further doing their things until in the dark ages we see them coming to change times and laws. And then we'll base our lesson on what he's doing these days. We cannot be talking about history. Let's talk about what is going to affect us these days.
Thus says the Lord God, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right.
For the customs of the people are vain. For one, cutteth the tree out of the forest.
They started. These are the people who started cutting a tree out.
Out of the forest.
Yeah.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
Right.
With the axe.
Right.
They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
Right.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
You see these Christmas trees, they did not start now. They started 2,000 years ago, and God was seeing it happening. And they deck it with silver. Why with silver? And why they will deck it with cards? And you see the card has got pictures of the sun, pictures of the stars, pictures of the moon. This is what is there in the universe that God is saying. Don't be dismayed about the signs in the universe. Why were they doing that? Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 20.
Verse 20.
Yes.
Assemble yourselves and come. Draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations.
Right?
They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image.
They have no knowledge
And
that
pray-
set up this wood from the if they knew that the wood is, the moment you cut it from the forest, is dead. It's dead. There's nothing living in it or anymore. Now this verse is talking about they have no knowledge about what happens to the wood.
They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image.
Right?
And pray unto a God that cannot save.
So he says that is a graven image. And what they are worshipping in the corner of the house every day now is they are worshipping a god, an idolater. When he says, do not have any other god beside me. The whole essence of that is a god which has been set up, which has been cut from the forest. And what?
Tell ye, and bring them near.
Repeat that way they cut it.
Assemble yourselves and come. Draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations.
Right?
They have no knowledge, that set up the wood of their graven image,
Right?
and pray unto a God that cannot save.
Right?
Tell ye, and bring them near, and let them take counsel together.
Right.
Who hath declared this from ancient time?
Who has declared this from ancient time? This has started from time. Now, before you go next, go to chapter 46 behind there, so that we know where the story was coming from verse 1. Isaiah chapter 46, yeah.
Verse 1.
Verse 1.
Baal boweth down,
Right?
Nebo stoopeth.
Right?
Their idols
Right.
were upon the beasts,
Right?
and upon the cattle.
Right?
Your carriages were heavy laden.
Right?
They are a burden to the weary beast. They stoop, they bow down together.
Right.
They could not deliver the burden, but themselves are gone into captivity.
Right?
Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from my womb.
God is not worried about any heathen who is doing his own things. See, they can continue doing it. But he's now worried about those who are called by his name. Why are they joining in all this? Why? This is the reason why God is stealing. The stealing goes to those who are honestly looking for God to be worshipped, and not to joining into all these practices that are not biblical. And now,
Verse 5.
verse 5.
To whom will ye liken me, and make me equal to, and compare me, that we may be alike?
Right?
They lavish gold out of the bag,
Right?
and weigh silver in the balance,
Do you see what they deck this tree with? They deck with silver.
and hire a goldsmith,
Right?
and he maketh it a god.
Now it is made a god.
They fall down,
All the cards that are received, they are received and put to the god. This is what they do. They outside, which is proper to them. But those who are called by the name of God, God is saying, don't partake of that. And what?
yeah,
Yeah.
they worship,
Right?
they bear him
Right.
upon the shoulder.
You see how they, when they cut in the bush, they carry on the shoulder like that.
They carry him.
Yes, they carry.
And set him in his
And
place,
then set in the place
and he
somewhere.
standeth
And he standeth
from
also as
his
a god.
place, that he shall not move.
You see, some people say, oh, Sister White was talking about this Christmas tree to be there and put Bibles on it and what. Listen, light is progressive. Do you know that the very Sister White in some other text was talking about the pork to be eaten? Do you know that? But later on, the very Sister White said we should be vegetarian. You see, the light is progressive. Now, where we are and where she was, we should be miles off her thinking, and we should continue to be given more scrolls by God of light to see exactly where the abomination is. When he calls it abomination, he says it's set there as a god, and every silver is decked on it, every card decked on it with all the stars. But when we see it being done by the pagans are enjoying they enjoy. This is their job. But they also are amazed when they see the Christians also coming to join them in their. That's how they don't see any pleasure in us in worshiping our God, because we also encroach into their system. You understand? Now, and what?
They bear him upon the shoulder, they carry him and set him in his place, and he standeth
You see?
from his place, that he shall not be moved.
That God is
Yeah.
carried sometime and taken from the wood and put on the corner there, and he stand now like a live tree.
Yeah,
Eh.
one shall cry unto him,
Right?
yet he cannot answer.
And even when you cry, that God doesn't answer. It's all full of decking with silver and everything.
Nor can save him out of his trouble.
Nothing.
Remember this, and shew yourselves, men.
Right.
Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors.
Right?
Remember the former things of old. For I am God, and
Right.
there's none else. I am God, and
God
there's
is
none
saying he's
like
not
me.
worshipped that way. He says, I'm God, and there's none other. I'm not worshipped like that.
Declaring the end from the beginning,
Right.
and from ancient times, the times that are not yet done,
Right.
saying,
Right.
My counsel shall stand.
He saw this being done in the ancient time by the Nimrods and everything. And he's still seeing in 2020 being done. And he says, I've declared that from the beginning. And I'm still now. And those people who have encroached into the house of God to continue this practice, You should be able to know who is for God and who is not for God. That's why the seal has to set somebody to be sealed, another person not to be sealed. So you should be very clever that this is why God is saying if it was possible, even the very elect would be taken away. It's the system of Nimrod, which comes with changing times and laws. Now, I'm worried about those who say, no, it's a pagan feast. We shouldn't be there. But you cannot conquer it without keeping God's feast. If the pagans still have a feast, what about God? You cannot conquer by taking off the pagan and also taking up God's feast and abolishing both sides. You have no side. Because at the end of the day, the side which will remain are two sides. One, the pagan, and two, God's feast. So if God's feasts are not there, you go and also stop them, because our minds are made to be merry sometimes. So if you cannot keep the pagan feast, so where are we? Which ones are you keeping? People say we just keep the Sabbath and finish. No. God made his feasts. That's why they changed these feasts to the religious feasts were taken off, and they introduced the pagan feast. So if you are going to stop someone worshipping the pagans and also stop someone worshipping God, so where are you? Because how do we worship God? We also worship God with the feast. They worship the pagan God with the feast, and we worship God with the feast. So where are we? We take off Easter, and we also take off Passover. What is that? So it means we have to uphold something. We cannot just remove something without upholding something. So if you say to us, that's what the devil wants. He wants many people to cry, no, it's pagan. And what about God's feast? They also remain without God's feast, so they are no way. And the devil is laughing and saying, right, you take off that, and you also take off that. So you remain vulnerable, still vulnerable, because you have nothing. The person who overcomes will hold on to God's feast against pagan feast, because these are two lines. Now, and where are we? Where are you? We're finished. Now let's hear in our time. So we have seen in the time when it was introduced, we had three gangsters. We had Nimrod, who was the sun god. We had Tammuz, born on 25 December. We have Queen Easter. These are the 3 days that they were being worshipped. Now, these have progressed until our time. That's why we should need, instead of Easter, we had Passover. Instead of 25 December, we have Purim, which is there in Esther, the book of Esther. God has commanded the month of Adar, which is the 12th month of God. There is a day on the 23rd of the month of Adar, which is a day for the gift exchange, and the day which will give us strength to overcome the mark of the beast. So when you do not have 25 December, and you also do not have 23 Adar, which is the 12th month, so where are you? And when you don't have Easter and you have no Passover, where are you? And when you have, they're worshipping Nimrod on Sunday, which is the Sunday. When you have no Sunday, at least you have Sabbath. But we haven't finished. All that was starting is this idolatry. You did not finish, you just have the Sabbath, that's it. What about the 25 December that you have finished, you have taken off? You have to replace with the day of the Purim, where the God's 12th month of gift exchange is there. Easter is replaced by Passover, is there, which is the Lord's Supper in our time. So if you don't have all that, and then you just say pagan feast, and then the devil is still very happy about you because you are still vulnerable. You are not anchored in the love of God. You are not protected. You need that protection so that you stay with God where his feasts are. Because all these we have been taken as substitute by Nimrod. You see? Now, let's see what happens in our time. I had so many quotations about verses, about all these things, but let's go to our time. If we go there on when Revelation chapter 13, down there, Revelation 13, verse 1. We'll read that as a novel because we have done Revelation 13 before. Go and look for the videos which have Revelation 13 elaborating each and every item which is there. But let's read it because I want to concentrate more on the next, which is Revelation 13 verse 11. So from 1 to 10 we read as a novel. Yeah?
And I stood upon the sand of the sea,
Right?
and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns,
Right?
and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Right.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered
after the beast. If you can take the calendar for me and put on the world history. So here in short we have been told what happened. We have studied this prophecy before, and most people say this beast is the one which was in the dark ages and whatever. And you see how people are so misled. If you are not within the side of God, you will always have numerous assumptions, and they know you haven't discovered the secret. Once you do not have the proper prophecy, you have no secret from God. So let's read on. I want us to elaborate on 2 TG 17.4 and point 2. And they worshipped the dragon. This is what we got from it. Yeah?
And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Right.
And they worshipped the beast, saying,
Right.
Who is like unto the beast?
Now, listen. When this beast, which came from the sea, we have been told it came from the sea. Let's have this beast. The beast came from the sea. And the sea, what is sea? It's peoples, multitudes, nations and tongues, which is Revelation 17, verse 15, right? Now, we will have this beast. I don't know where to hang it, but I will show you what I need. I will show you. Let this small boy bring it for me. So you find that this beast, this beast is the world map, which I have. Sorry, I could have prepared this for you. It just came now that I need to show you what beast. Now, this is the beast. Read it. Read it, yeah? Read from 1 to 13. Revelation 13, verse 1 to
Verse
10.
1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea,
Right?
having 7 heads and
This
10
is the
horns.
beast. Is it clear on your... Right. So this is the beast coming from the sea. Yeah? Uh-huh.
And upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Right?
And the beast which
So
I saw,
it had 7 heads. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Uh-huh.
and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
But the names on the heads were blasphemy. Right?
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard,
Right?
and his feet were as the feet of a bear,
So it means here the body was leopard. Yeah? The feet
as the feet of a bear,
were a bear.
and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
The mouth was the mouth of a lion.
And the dragon gave him his power,
Right.
and his authority, and his seat.
What is sinister about the beast is the dragon is giving the whole power. You understand? It's so cunning. The dragon continue when this beast is the current civilization. Now, Revelation 13, verse 1 to 10 is currently happening. Yeah? This is what is happening. The dragon is giving the power for the whole structure for the present civilization. Right. Now, let's read from 1 TG where we're reading. And they worshipped.
And they worshipped the dragon,
Right?
which gave power unto the beast.
So who are people worshipping currently? It says they are worshipping the dragon. Yeah? And
Saying,
saying,
and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the
who
beast?
is like unto the beast?
Who is able to make war with him?
This is what is happening currently. They say, who is like unto the beast? Who is making war with the beast? It's the people who say, we will not, this thing has been done for years and years. We can't stop it now. They're actually saying, who is like unto the beast? This thing was erected by Nimrod and Tammuz and Queen Ishtar. Who can take this system off? Because it has been there. Someone said, I was born keeping it. I was born keeping Christmas. I was born keeping these days. You know, they say, who is like unto the beast? Who can make war with the beast? Right? And
who is able to make war with him?
right?
And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
We know this is the same beast which was the previous one. We remember in the previous beast. Why do we say it's a continuation? Why do we say it's a continuation? It's a continuation because the mouth was a lion. Yeah, we had a lion here in Daniel chapter 7. The first beast was a lion with 2 wings. And we also say the feet were a bear. We had a bear in the previous, in Daniel chapter 7, which was Greece. And here we are saying the body is a body of leopard. I mean, Greece was this one. This one is Medo-Persia. The bear was Medo-Persia. And Greece was, we had a bear here with 4 heads and 4 wings, which was Greece. And then what do we have on the beast? We had 10 horns. We have papal and imperial Rome. We had in that when it came as a 4th beast in Daniel chapter 7. We have all that. But where were all these beasts from Daniel chapter 7 coming from? From the sea. Like it is coming also from the sea. Do you understand? So what is the sea in Revelation 17 verse 15 is people, multitude. So this beast was coming from people. Do you understand? Now let's hang on like that. We'll raise it today. We are going to stand there so that you can be my chat raiser. So let's hear on paragraph 3 there where you are reading. And
he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to
Right.
blaspheme his name.
So we
and
saw
his
that on the
tabernacle.
42 months, which is the dark ages, the same beast had opened his mouth here. Come and hold it for me. The same beast had opened his mouth here on the dark ages. Opened his mouth to blaspheme God. We saw it on Daniel chapter 8 verse 10. That he also killed the stars. He also, the host of heaven, he also magnified himself unto the prince of wave. We saw what he did, blaspheming heaven in the dark ages. And what?
To blaspheme his name and his tabernacle,
Right.
and them that dwell in heaven.
Right.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints,
Right.
and to overcome them.
We
And
saw this persecution happening in dark ages where the woman was given eagle's wings to fly into the wilderness. We saw that happen. It's still the same beast coming out of this. It's a continuation of the system which was there previous. It's still there in our time. And what?
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them.
Right.
And power was given unto him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Right?
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him,
Did you hear that?
whose names
Listen.
are not written in the book of life
This is there in verse 8.
of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Why do we find people still worshipping this system which started with the Nimrod? Why? It's clear from the scripture. It says their names. Mark me, don't mark me wrong there. There are people who might be doing it sincerely for God, without knowing they are partaking of that spirit. But there are people who, even when you tell the origin of this system, they are adamant. It says, because their names are not written in the book of life. Slain from the foundation of the world. Because names have already been written. We know that. The book of life has got the names. From the word, before the earth was created, the book had names. Not that God was saying, you come in, you don't. No. God saw what happens in the last days before creating the earth. But he didn't stop creating people who he saw would refuse. You understand? He saw the devil was going to make war in heaven. But did he stop creating heaven? Did he stop creating Lucifer? He did create him, knowing what he's going to do. He also created the earth, even knowing what people will do, and he chronicled it in the Bible. That's why I say, they will worship this beast. whose names are not written in the Lamb's book of life. This is what, you struggle hard with somebody until you say, hey, I've given all the facts, but the person can't really hear. Why? Something is wrong. There is no name in the book of life. There is something that is not there, and you are struggling with somebody who is not in the book of life. This is what the Bible has written. They will do that because their names are not written in the book of life. So who knows who is in the book of life? You could be doing that system without knowing it was wrong. And then later on say, oh, no, it's wrong. Why? Because your name is written in the book of life. You change. You could be doing it. Your name not in the book of life. But even if you are told, you step down and say, I will do it. I will worship this system. Why? Because something is there. The reason is, a name is not in the book of life. This is what Revelation 13 verse 8 has said. Now, it says, if any man, after that verse, it says, if any man
have an ear,
let him hear.
let him hear.
Right?
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Right?
He is the patience and the faith of the saints.
This is where we should be patient, and the saints should be patient to make sure we will hold to what God has told us, and we will never shake from the truth. Right? And let's go, because I didn't want to explain much about Revelation chapter 13, verse 1 to 10. So those who want to hear, there is a video about that. Now let's go to, my mind is on verse 11. 13, verse 11.
Verse 11. And I beheld, and another beast coming up out of the earth.
Now, there is yet another beast. Now, you hold it for me again. Now, you see here, after this one, which I call present world, there is yet another one. This one coming. What is wrong with this one?
And I beheld, and another beast coming out of the earth.
Right?
And he had 2 horns.
This one now, instead of 10 horns, he has got 2 horns.
Like a lamb.
Like a lamb.
And he spake as a dragon.
And spake as a dragon.
And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
Right?
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the beast.
Right?
Whose deadly wound was healed.
Now, we have in that 7 horns, 7 heads here, we had one of the head which had a deadly wound, which had healed. We know which deadly healed. This one in the Dark Ages, who was changing times and laws, is one of these heads which had a deadly wound. But now, this one, this system which was in Dark Ages, is brought about by this next beast, which had 2 horns. What system was there? This one, we saw this horn head, which was the 8th, who took off three horns there. What are these horns? They're kingdoms, isn't it? These kingdoms were taken off. Yeah, the Vandals, the Heruli, Ostrogoths, 3 of them, they were taken off. And he became the 8th there. So this one becoming the 8th was a little horn and a head. What does it mean? What are the heads? The heads, what is the head? Head. In Revelation 17, verse 9, we find a woman sitting on heads. So we want to find out what are the heads.
Verse 9. And he is the mind which hath wisdom.
Right.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Revelation 17 verse 9 says heads are mountains. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 2 verse 2 and find what is a mountain. Because there we find a good mountain in Isaiah chapter 2.
Verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days.
Right.
That the mountain of the Lord's house.
So the mountain is the Lord's house. So these 7 heads are churches. Do you understand? But one of them has got a wound which has been healed. Why is the wound healed? It's because what he was doing in Dark Ages, nobody is opposing it yet. They have assumed the spirit of Nimrod which was there, it has all been taken by these other 7 heads. 7 which is complete Christendom, which is there. That's 7. So what have they assumed? All this system which was there, replacing God's system, has been taken off. Here, when the reformers started reforming against him in the Dark Ages, they inflicted a wound. But this wound has been healed there. Why? Because everybody now is partaking of that same spirit which was changing laws and times and laws. That's why we are debating and saying, what time is this? Why don't you keep Purim instead of Christmas? Why don't you keep Purim? And instead of camp meeting, why do you have several dates? Why? Why are these dates different? Why? Because the times were changed here. So instead of taking the proper date, people are just here like this, any date, because this spirit is still in them. You understand? So why do we study prophecy? So that we know how to be right with God, because God is saying, this abomination is provoking the anger of God. So we don't want to go along with the anger of God. We want to find out what is right and do what is right. When God is angry, He is angry. We can see it. He is angry. There's never a time He has been so angry like this time. He is angry. The whole world is upside down. Can't you see? He is angry. But we have to find out what we should do so that we don't provoke His anger. He has expressed His anger in the Bible, and we shouldn't be dancing along with His anger because He's angry. Now, He's angry about those three gangsters who inflicted this system which has been bothering God from ages, 2,000 years before Christ was born. And still, until with us now, it's more pronounced, and it's going to go into a persecution time. It is still that spirit going with us. So now we should know where things are coming from and how we can beat that system so that we fight for our lives. Do you understand? Don't fight for, don't respect people as regards with God. Respect God alone and do what God is, because He is the owner of the universe. He is owning this universe, and He wants His things done the proper way. You understand? So here, I read on where you were. Mm-hmm.
And He exerciseth all the power of the
so
first beast before
So
Him.
this two-horned one here exercise all the power which was in this first one, right?
And causeth the earth
right?
and them which dwell therein
right?
to worship the first beast.
So what is He bringing about? That's why there is so much cry about, why this pagan? This one is going to bring back all these pagan systems. He's already doing it. That's why we are up and running like this, because He is already exercising all this power, which was in the first beast. He wants to do it here. And people are saying this first beast, which was there in the Dark Ages, is still this one. No! This one is a different beast from this one. But this beast is taking all the power which was there. What was there? We had a horn head. So we saw that these heads are churches. So in that time, this one was leading a church. And also he had a horn, which was also a leader of the government. So it was two systems which were in this leader. While he was leading the church, he was also leading the government. He was a leader. Also, he's a horn. A horn is a civil. It's a civil leader. So he is this one, the new one in our time, future to us. This one is going to take the system which was in this one. Why? Of being a leader of governments, and also being a leader of what? Of churches. Is what is bringing about. This is what will bring about persecution, because this one managed to persecute because whoever was wrong in church, he went to the government, he was the leader of the government, he was causing that person to be killed. And the same thing will happen in our time. Now let's read on without this one, and we know exactly what is happening.
And He exerciseth all the power of the first beast before Him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Right?
And He doeth great wonders, so that He maketh fire come down from heaven
Right?
on the earth in the sight of man, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which He had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Right.
Saying to them.
So here we have seen an introduction of someone. Read again 13, let's see, understand. 13 verse 14.
13 verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And deceiveth them
Right.
that
Listen
dwell on the
careful
earth.
to that one. Uh-huh.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles
Right?
which He had power to do in the sight of the beast.
So you see, there's someone who is called a he, who has power to do miracles in the sight of the beast. So we are not talking about this beast now. We are talking of someone, a he, making miracles in the sight of
Of the beast.
Now, we have a beast here, which is the two-horned beast. But there is someone who has the power to make miracles in the sight of him. Who is not this one? There is someone, but we want to find out who this someone is. You understand? Go to chapter 19, verse 20. Revelation 19, verse 20.
Verse 20.
Who is this one making miracles?
And the beast was taken,
Right?
and with him the false prophet.
Do you see, this beast doesn't work alone. He works with the false prophet. Read on.
And wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them
Right.
that had received the mark of the beast.
So there is a deception done by these two. The beast, whoever is leading there, and has a prophet. There is someone who is a prophet making miracles in the sight of the beast. Did you hear? Because we see that same person is being taken together with the beast. And what happened to them?
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet
Right?
that wrought miracles before him,
Right?
with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast.
So we see a false prophet making miracles in the sight of the beast. Why? It's a gimmick being done. This false prophet, the presence of the false prophet, is to make miracles or is to anger the beast. And when the beast is angered by the miracles from the false prophet, what happens to the beast? He makes laws. He changes laws in the world. Why? Because he's angered by the false prophet. So they are working together. But they are working in antagon against each other. The reason why the devil has set this up is to make sure the beast will change laws and change everything and change, because the false prophet will continue annoying the beast. Did you hear that? No, but we have found that this person who is making miracles in front of the beast has a job to do. The job is to make sure the beast changes legislation and everything. Do you understand? Now, let's go to 19, it's 19 verse 20, so let's go to 13 verse 14.
Verse 14. And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to perform in the sight of the beast.
So we see that is someone making miracles in the sight of the beast. Now, go to chapter 16, verse 13. Let's hear more about this. Because I say they both come from the dragon. Now,
Verse
chapter
13.
16, verse 13, yeah.
And I saw 3 unclean spirits,
Yeah,
like frogs,
right?
come out of the mouth of the dragon.
Did you hear that? 3 unclean spirits coming out of the mouth of the dragon. Who are these?
And out of the mouth of the beast,
One. So the beast, and we have the beast here, the dragon, and who?
and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
So the 3. We said in Nimrod's time, there were 3 making up a system for us to worship stars, worship the sun, worship. But here we have also a system of 3, which is the beast, which is the dragon, which is the false prophet. They are there coming from one pot. Did you hear? Now read on verse 13.
Verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs
Right?
come out of the mouth of the dragon,
1,
and out of the mouth of the beast,
2.
and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
You see, they all 3 are working together. And there are spirits like frogs, which has been seen in Revelation 16, verse 13. What and what?
Verse 14.
Verse 14.
And they are spirits of devils,
There are spirits of devil. All
working
of them.
miracles,
They are only making miracles.
which go forth unto the kings of the earth,
So that
and the
these
whole world,
miracles, they go to the kings which are ruling there and the whole world.
to gather them to battle
So that
against
they
the
are all
great day
ga-
of God Almighty.
They are all gathered to battle so that the people receive the 666. This is the gimmick that is being done by the 2-1 beast. But let's read and understand more. But unless you detect the devil, you just are going to be swept up. Or then people will see they're being swept up by just a small thing, pagan beast, and are swept up already. Now, when these 3 will make miracles like it was with Nimrod Queen Ishtar and Tammuz, when they started, they swept up a lot of the God is saying abominations. Come and see what they do. What are they doing in antagonistic against God? And this is the spirit which is continuous even in our time, which is going to give the people the 666. Now let's read on here in Revelation chapter 13. Let's see again. Because we said the Dark Ages beast was not the one. That one has done his job. The job was there in the Dark Ages. This one did his job already, finished. But this one is different. Because this one is just waiting for the kingdom to start. And when the kingdom starts, we see in Daniel chapter 7, what happens to him? This one. When the kingdom starts, what happens to him? Daniel chapter 7. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And I beheld, then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake,
right?
I beheld even till the beast was slain.
You see, what he's waiting for is just to be slain. That's it.
And his body destroyed,
right?
And given to the burning flame.
There is a burning flame. When the kingdom starts, there's a burning flame for this one. The kingdom starts when Christ comes. And what?
As concerning the rest of the beast.
The rest of the beast which will be there following that system, what happens?
Their dominion was taken away.
Yeah.
Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
So when we see this event happening of the beast being bent into the lake of fire, then we know the probation of the world is just left with a season and a time. And a season is what? 4 months. And time is 1 year. So we'll be knowing that it's now 1 year, 4 months left. Now, this is prophecy. We are studying prophecy. And when we have prophecy, we have all the light that God is talking to them in symbols. To other people, they will never understand it. But to those who are subjects of the kingdom, they will understand like a simple command, a simple novel, secret from God. Now, let's hear from Revelation 13 where we are reading. Where exactly are you? We have read verse 14. So we have discovered the beast will work with the false prophet and also in conjunction with the dragon. So them three are the spirits of the devil. It's coming from the Bible itself, right? Let's go to verse 15.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Yeah.
That the image of the beast
right.
should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right? So I'm seeing people talking so much about this image of the beast, and talking about this number 666. Someone was saying, oh, the name COVID means 666. You know what? And someone say, oh, the vaccines are 666. Listen, what warning I'm giving you is, God will never act in disguise. The 666 will come from a voluntary rejection of God's things. When you actually know what you are rejecting, and then you get the 666. You will never get the 666 from something that you did not know. Someone gives you something and then you think you are getting 666 and God will just take you and put you on the wrong side because you have accepted 666. It should be something which is debated according to your faith, that you will voluntarily refuse. You know, when in Babylon, when the children of Israel were told that at the sound of the horn of the trumpet, everyone should kneel for the statue. It was something that they actually understood they were supposed to do or supposed not to do. They knew that now this horn means I should kneel for Nebuchadnezzar's statue. And they refused voluntarily. Those who refused. Those who accepted voluntarily. So don't be fooled by these other people that you don't understand the prophets and say, oh, you have been injected. You have been given 666. Oh, this way. You have put on that dress. It's 666. It's a result of people who don't understand prophecy. The 666 will actually be received voluntarily by somebody who knows. We have two things to choose. We will be given one. You are given God's feast, you reject. Or you are given pagan feast, you reject. So these are the two that will test the people. People will be tested by all the suppers, including the feasts. and then the other side, all the sun worship, and including the feast. This is the two people who will be on earth at the end of the world. So it will be not something that will take you unawares and say, oh, I could have refused. Or it will be something that you will reject, knowing that it has to do with your faith. And you will go on the wrong side knowing, like they did. They worshipped the statue, knowing that this is wrong. This is the 666. Now, here on verse 15 it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So here, this is the image. What image? He had power now to start a system. Hold on there. This one has a power to start a system which is like what it was in Dark Ages. What was it? Of these pagan feasts. He had power to do that. He had power to, because this person on the, it will be somebody ruling in the last days who will have a system exactly like it was with this one who was in the Dark Ages, who will be head of church and also head of government. You will have those two powers like it was in the Dark Ages. So that's the image of what was in the beast. Do you understand what it is? And he had, read on.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Right. So when he's like that, he is now able to persecute people. And what?
That the image of the beast should both speak,
right,
and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. So what gives him that power? He will be now head of churches and head of government, whoever it is, in that power that might be. We know. We are not here to be talking about who is this and who is that, but we know we have a system like that at the end of the world. All these other systems that we are used to, which we have been ruling, will be out. It will be a system which will be ruling the churches and ruling also the government, which was in, like the system which was in the Dark Ages. He was the ruler of the churches and ruler of the government. This is the image of the beast, of the first beast. Now,
and he causeth all, both small and great,
right,
rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand,
right,
or in their foreheads,
right,
and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast,
right,
or the number of his name.
Right.
He is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast,
right,
for it is the number of a man,
right,
and his number is 600, 60.
I saw someone saying the number of 666 is COVID. The number of what is what. No, you can come up with all sorts of funny ideas. The Bible simply says the number is the number of a man. Don't tell me it is because of this, the beast in Dark Ages is the one with the what if vicarious, whatever. No, it's the number of the man. Take it like that until God shows you which man it is. It's the number of the man. Now let's read on 17.6, 2 TG there. The Bible.
The Bible, we see, places the number 666 not on the first beast.
Not on this beast. Now hold it again. Not on this beast.
Not on the leopard-like.
Not even on this leopard-like.
But on the second.
On this beast.
The two-horned beast.
The two-horned beast is the one with 666.
For the description of the first beast,
right,
ends in verse 10.
Now, the description of the first one in the Dark Ages, it ends in verse 10. Where does it say in verse 10? Revelation 13, verse 10. That's the end of the first beast. Right? And
in the verse 10. And the description of the two-horned beast begins with verse 11 and ends with verse 18.
When it starts verse 11 to 18, that's where we have the two-horned. Right? So don't mix these beasts. And the devil is happy when you mix, so you do not know what is happening in current news. Don't mix them. And what?
An early denominational publication entitled was issued Word to the Little Flock.
Yeah.
And issued by the founders of the denomination.
Right.
Also rightly places the number 666 on the two-horned beast.
Right. You go to the Word to the Little Flock. It places the number 666 on this beast, not on any of these. This one, the two-horned one. Right? Let's read Revelation.
The Revelation, being a complement
right,
of the book of Daniel, it is necessary that we touch a little on Daniel 7, on Daniel chapter
Right.
7 in particular.
Now, we have seen in Daniel chapter 7 what happened. I explained that these beasts are a complement to the leopard-like beast, and it's a system occurring continuously. Now, let's go there at the bottom where it's 2TG 17.7. 17.7. Now, since the horns.
Now, since the horns of John's beast symbolize the nations, and his wounded head symbolizes a religious organization divorced from a civil power, and since his 7 heads are all alike, save for the wound on one of them, it becomes obvious that the heads, 7 in number, portray religious bodies.
Right.
Christendom.
Where it says the horns and the heads all being on the beast.
The horns and the heads all being on the beast at the same time, not coming up one after another, or in like manner falling off as the horns in Daniel chapter 7 and 8, should forever convince every rational mind that the horns and heads symbolize civil and religious bodies,
Right.
all existing at the same time, not one following the other.
So we'll start on that other video when we started about Revelation 13. You see all the symbols one at a time. They were described what they were meant for. But my aim here of this study is to show that we are still in that system, which was started by Nimrod and Tammuz and Ishtar. And believe it or not, I only say it also to clear my own blood, so that God will say, why didn't you say it? I'll also say it to clear my blood, that you and I have a work to do, to continue with the Reformation, to continue without this, warning the people not to worship this beast. And this beast has been worshipped from the time Noah's flood, from the son of Ham, Nimrod, the son of Cush. Next, he bare Tammuz, and this Queen Esther, causing the whole world to worship the stars, to worship the sun, to worship the universe, instead of worshiping God. And that's why God is angry right through from the whole history, from the time of the beginning to the end. And in our time, it comes in form now of 666. Now it only starts with us choosing whether to worship God or to worship these pagan feasts introduced by Nimrod into our system. May God bless us as we move on with the history, so that we serve Him fully, not in part, but fully. May God bless the day. Amen.